Have you really ever lived?
Like yesterday.
Because we don't like zipper packaging in this house.
Somebody's wearing pants now. Alright.
Our lights seem really bright. I think they actually are.
We are Brett and Jade Evans. We bought a wrecked sailboat at auction, then dedicated the last year to bringing her back to life. Now we're elbows deep in transforming her into our off-grid floating home. Right now, we're focusing on the heart of that system, a huge lithium power bank. Having this battery bank will give us the freedom and independence to go long times between needing a recharge, while still enjoying things like hot showers and charged laptops. Last week we got our 5 shiny new Battleborn batteries shoehorned into their new home, and this week we get to wire it all in. Starting with figuring out how we're going to chop up these huge battery cables, since our tiny tool from Amazon just isn't going to cut it.
Might have been for 4 gauge, not for aught.
Quick announcement, we had so much fun meeting so many of you guys at the Annapolis Boat Show, especially hanging out with all of our new friends at the various Patreon meetups. So much so that we want to start doing more of that sort of thing, the more connected interaction. And we're going to start that off by doing a live stream next weekend. We'll post a place on Patreon where you guys can leave comments and questions ahead of time. But mostly we're looking forward to that back and forth kind of conversation that we're able to have during the actual live stream. So make sure you look on Patreon for the timing and the link for all of that there. And if being a patron isn't a good fit in your life right now, don't worry, we've got you covered. We are going to be sending a recording of the live stream after the fact to everybody that is on our email list. So if you want to be included there, make sure that you head over to our website and drop us your email. And that's the announcement. Enjoy the video, guys.
Now we have to figure out how to cut 4-aught cable at 10 o'clock at night. I'm thinking grinder, Dremel, Sawzall,
How can we do it very
hacksaw,
quickly, very quiet,
without getting like shrapnel all over the boat.
and waking up all of our neighbors?
This is gonna take a while.
Thrown in the towel. Can't do it. Not with this. Well, I could do it. I could totally do it. I could do it. I'm not going to for the sake of our neighbors and Jade, but I could totally do it.
So sorry.
Yeah, and it would work. And if I only had to do 1 or 2, then sure. But like 20 or more, no, not happening. So we'll start working on the other half of the system, which is the inverting side, which converts the 12 volt into 120 volt, which is basically what you have in your house. Our boat has regular outlets all throughout it, just like this. But right now, that only works if we're running the generator. Once we install those, then it'll be able to convert our batteries into regular outlet power like that. We can run laptops or really anything else that you do in your house.
We have an American-made Beneteau, which means that all of our wiring is 120 rather than 240, like our European-built counterparts.
We were using just some easy to manipulate string to figure out our run with kind of some nice curve to it. And we come up with 3 feet on the dot. We're gonna cut one section of 3 feet. It's actually really flexible. It potentially could be shorter, so we're going to crimp one end. We'll put on the actual lug onto this end right here. We'll check it and see if we want to cut this any shorter or if we want to keep it this length for the rest of them, and then we'll decide if we want to do it tonight using the grinder like I did for this one, or wait till tomorrow.
If you did not put those canned black olives on your fingers as a child and maybe an adult, like, have you really ever lived?
Like yesterday.
These are lugs. This is an uncrimped lug, and this baby right here, $5. So we need to make sure that we do this right.
It's very, very tight. I don't know, I've never dealt with such large and precise.
Yeah, there's not much tolerance.
I'll peel this back a little more. Earlier I asked Jade to open up the heat shrink tubing, and she did. Very generously.
Promptly and obediently, like a loving and caring wife.
And she like freaking destroyed it.
With my muscles.
Because we don't like zipper packaging in this house.
Didn't notice.
There we go. We hit it. We're gonna try out our hydraulic crimper. We have the die in there, which is the 2 pieces of metal that are the right size, and this hydraulic ram is getting shoved this way, and it's going to compress the lug into that beautiful hexagon shape and smash the wire inside. Look at that lug.
Looks good. heat shrink. Positive, negative. Once we throw some hot air on this, it'll go and shrink, hence the name. Because of my innovation, saves a step. You don't have to open it. Always thinking of new ways.
Living in the future here. This heat shrink is kind of cool. It actually has adhesive on the inside, so that as it shrinks, it gets super hot and melts the adhesive. So now it's glued on there as well as just shrunk on. So it is watertight. You can see some of the little adhesive oozing out there. So we're watertight.
Pretty lovely to me.
Kind of like that.
Nice.
That's a lot.
It's half of what we bought a lot of.
Anybody need some 4-aught cable? We got some to spare.
Sends the message.
We have our 5 positives and our 5 negatives cut to length. Now we are going to start stripping off the ends so we can crimp on our lugs.
This is from the brand Wide Quick.
Yickle.
The hydraulic action.
Jade and I have split forces. She went to go get us some food because we haven't eaten for a long time and we're starving. I am still working on our battery cables. This is one of the positives. I am here heat shrinking them now. They're all crimped and watching some Be This for Build. If you haven't watched Be This for Build, check them out. There you go.
Brett's naked and there's music playing. Brett, can you turn the music off?
You come around me nakedness? You don't the music on?
We are about to go shopping if Brett will put clothes on. Thank you.
Like a lose-lose for me.
Alright. Here's what we're working with. We got battery cables. We need to cut and lug the wires that are going to the inverter. Somebody's wearing pants now. Alright, we have the camera. We currently have 10 lugs lugged. Is that the right word?
And that's definitely not true either.
10, 20.
Yeah.
We need 20 more. And we've got,
We have 3 more
There's
packs.
more. 3
So we have 4 packs.
so we need to go purchase 12. Okay,
We can do that.
we're on a quest. There's only one West Marine in the area that has them. That's a little bit of a drive. So, road trip.
It is super low tide right now, and this floating dock is. We're sitting on the ground right here. Which is why we're all dinghied over here. Short person drove this car.
We have a little bit of a side quest. We stopped by the P.O. box because we also have not fuses, but fuse holders. We'll show you them in a second. Side quest number 2. I need new jeans. I bought these jeans 5 years ago for Brett and I's engagement photos. I thought it was 7. I don't know my dates. Anyway, we've been married for 5 years. All of these holes were self-made. So little tour. We've got both knees are ripped. Here. There's also one in the crotch, but I'm not going to show you that one. So it is time.
I would laugh if it didn't give you one.
We won on getting macaroons.
We're on P2, right?
One more down.
The macaron story is there was a good deal on 3 of them. So we got 3, and then we got 3 more.
Neither of us would.
And then by that we had 6, which was a better deal to buy 12. And so you got 12, and then if you got 12, you got 2 free.
So we have 14 macarons.
14, way too many.
No. Okay, West Marine closes in 60 minutes. It takes 45 minutes to get there. This is the one we need because this is the only one that has the stuff. Vintage race, minutos.
Did you say vintage race?
Vintage race.
Got it. Yeah, the Starbucks cup.
Minutos. All right, we made it in time. We found some lugs. They're playing the Abbott Brothers on the radio, and we've got SOB over here helping us out. Say hi to everybody, Sean.
All right. How many did you say we need? We needed
14.
14 total.
7 packs.
7 packs. All the goodies?
All the goodies. Almost as good as macarons. We were gonna work on the batteries this evening after getting back from all of our errands, but then we had other work things to do. It just didn't happen. And yeah, so now it's bedtime, except for just for me apparently, because Brett decided that 11 p.m. is the perfect time to finish the assembly, which I mean, he's not wrong, but he wasn't filming because he's not wearing pants. Can you tell everybody what you're doing?
Now they know I'm not wearing pants. This is awkward.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking here, looking at these wires going, reality is we didn't need to use 4 on for each of these. We could have done like 1 on or 2 on. That would be more efficient doing 4 on, but we didn't need to. I'm getting my workout lugging around all these lugs. We're to the point now that I want to, that all the bus bars are connected, and now we are going to connect the wires to the batteries to the bus bars, and I wanted to let them sit like that for a while we work on everything else. That way all the batteries will basically like equalize. They'll all come to the same level of charge. Does that make sense at all? Should I try that again?
An electronic equilibrium.
You have all your different buckets of water. They're all the same size bucket, but one is, 80% full, one's 75% full, whatever. And if you connect a hose at the bottom all the way across all of them, they're all going to equal out to all be an equal 78.76%.
That was precise.
Exactly. Hi, buddy. Do you agree? Yes.
Hey, 13.35. Probably shouldn't stand on these.
We have it all wired in, and you may notice that we ended up using both of the distributors. We originally were modifying this one to be able to take 5 battery cables, basically. And we still could, the hole's there if we decide to use it, but right now we're using both, and this is the way it was more designed to be used. Actually, it was more designed to be used with 4 batteries. You'd have 4 going into one, then you'd have a shunt, which basically measures flow of electricity, and then you'd have another distributor that then connects to your loads or to your alternator, to your inverters, things like that. And that's where that shunt measures kind of which way the power is flowing, either into the batteries charging or out of the batteries discharging. Right now, we're not using one of those smart shunts, and we're using both distributors for batteries. Things may change in the future. I'm on the fence right now of whether or not we should use just one. We've been at this pivotal moment for a little while now, and I've been putting it off, trying to get myself to wait till tomorrow, but it's time to cut the cord to our old house batteries. We're gonna cut it, recrimp it, and connect to our new batteries. But it also means we need to disconnect some of the other things, so it's gonna be dark for a little while. Could wait for tomorrow, but then we're just delaying and delaying. So let's do this.
The lights are about to go off. Let me show you guys a little hack. There's a spotlight. You can use like a regular headlamp or flashlight, cell phone flashlight. It all works.
Amazing.
It makes like a nice
Nice
soft
ambiance in
glow.
here. We've decided to use all new wiring, so we'll keep this just in case we need it for something later, but we'll replace it with new wire, so it's all new goodness. I'm taking off the seat top to make it easier to get into here. Something that could have been done with lights on. This is one of the order of operations things. With Jade's help, we have the top of the seat off of the chart table. She had to go into the head back here.
Hello.
Thanks, Jade.
take some screws out, but now we have much better access to everything. We've made progress. It's about 2 in the morning. It's taken me way longer than I want to admit to cut and crimp all these wires and get them routed. But there it is. All of the positives, negatives coming out of this side, coming into here. And moment of truth, I'm gonna flip the switch and we'll see if lights come on, because the switch is on there. So if I turn on the negative, that feels pretty good. It's not done, because right now we can only discharge these batteries. It's not wired at all to charge them, but that is definitely not tonight's task. I mean, you might not think that that's beautiful, but to me that's pretty beautiful. Anytime I do a big project like this, or even anytime we anchor, I always just like to sit for a little while and make sure everything's good. It's been about 15 minutes. I haven't noticed any noticeable difference between the batteries. Nothing's getting warm. The voltages are showing 13 volts, and I'm calling it a night. I'm gonna call tonight a win and get some sleep. But also, before I go to bed, something of note is, I mean, it's possible just because I've been on a headlamp for the past several hours, our lights seem really bright. I think they actually are, because we're pretty much never at 13 volts unless the generator's running. Kinda cool. We went to sleep last night with 13 volts on the monitor. We now have 13.1, so we are making electricity from thin air. No, what really it is the fridge had to run to like get cold again after being off for so long while I was using the batteries, and then it finally got cold, and so now we're good. But we need to move. It's getting stormy outside, and I just disconnected the alternator from our house batteries. So now we don't have to worry about our alternator kind of messing things up, just because it isn't designed to charge these.
So now they're just not connected to the house again?
So now the alternator is still connected to the engine battery and the generator battery, just not the house batteries. And I mean, it was before, but we weren't running the engine, so.
Where do you think go?
Hey dude. Boy. So agile.
That answers the question for a lot of people.
Can he get down?
We've had so many people worry that their big dogs won't be able to handle the companionway.
Oh. Here he did it with a 6-inch landing.
Yep.
So.
That's a good boy. So adaptable. And he's twins at this thing. Oh, that's cute. That's kind of cute. Yeah.
It's a playtime. Also, last night I finished at like 2:30 a.m. and did not clean up at all.
It was on purpose.
Yeah, I wanted you to see how hard I worked. It's always a little nerve-wracking after you disconnect everything and reconnect everything. Started no problem.
They're so close I don't even need lithium ones.
Our house batteries are at 13.2 and our engine is at 13.7, which means the alternator is only charging the engine battery. Winning. You might not be able to hear me, but we're working up a new system. Until Jade gets more comfortable driving the boat, she runs the anchor and I run the helm. But the snubber is really hard to get off sometimes, so I come up and help get the snubber off, and then I run back and she does the rest up here.
It works. At some point I need to learn how to drive this boat though. It's kind of a problem. But it's a problem for another day. Oh my gosh, those...
Yikes.
Our IG glass has a lot of rain on it. That isn't going away, so I am about to be a human windshield wiper. Like a twofer, because now we can see, and also free fresh water.
Thank you guys so much for watching and for being here. Make sure you subscribe by clicking our faces around here somewhere, and join us next week because it's going to be electrifying.
I'm just gutting things. I'm ripping out wires. Here.
Yeah, about the electrocution thing. I've been electrocuted 3 times since we've owned this boat. Is that
It's a record, babe.
Is that an accurate tally?
That's a record.
And I'm pretty sure Brett has too. He just never admits it. There's 2 options.
OnlyFans?